Hey everyone, it's Hailey, aka Hailey's Hobbies, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about my hobbies. Hello, hi. So, as you can see by the title of today's video, we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. This is the first time I've ever done a 24-hour readathon. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish it, but we're gonna try. And I'm gonna do it a bit different because I know people just read the entire 24 hours. I'm an old person and I like my sleep. So what we're gonna do is be reading 12 hours today and then 12 hours tomorrow. And then that way I can get some sleep in between that. And then that'll be like 24 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna start at 9:30. It's currently 9:10, so I thought we could chat about what I wanna read. I really wanted though to do a 24-hour readathon because I'm about to be moving out and going home and like working full time. Hopefully if I can get a job, if anyone will hire me. And so this is kind of going to be my last few weeks of like getting to read a lot and like all that good stuff. And I've actually never been able to do this. I've never done a 24-hour readathon because I've never been interested in it. But I feel like that's because a lot of people do it to see how many books they can read. And I really don't like to read fast. I've started reading a lot more slowly just because I want to be able to absorb what I'm reading and to like remember it. And I just found I was just reading too fast and it kind of led to like a lot of burnout with books. But I've started reading more slowly and therefore I've started reading a lot more and more consistently pretty much every day. So I was like, you know what, let's do a 24-hour readathon, but just do it at my own pace. So obviously sleeping and then not trying to see how many books I can finish, just enjoying and like feeling grateful that I can like do this. So yeah, so let me show you all the books that I'm thinking of for this 24-hour readathon. I have a couple and I would just focus on one book, but I don't want to finish it because I kind of want to take my time with it. So I have like 4 other options actually that I can pick. The book that I'm currently reading is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is like my favorite series of all time, I think. So far I've only read books 1 and 2 and I'm about, 200 pages into book 3. Yes, that is 200 pages. This guy is 1,300 pages. I could just spend the next 2 days reading it and probably finish it, but I don't want to. I don't know, Brandon Sanderson is like taking his sweet time with this series, so we do have that, so I'll probably read a bit of that, maybe like 200 pages. So I have a few other books here. I have a classic. I have Little Women. I took home a bunch of my books, so I don't really have as many options, but I kept this one because I figured maybe I could try and read it. I don't know, it gives me like summer, spring vibes, and it's summer and it's Texas, so it's like 1,000,000 degrees out, but I figured I could try and read it. I don't know, I've tried reading it a few times and just haven't been able to read it. So yeah, I really love this cover, but I thought maybe I could give that a go. And then I have 2 fantasy books. So I have Beyonders, A World Without Heroes. I would always see the like Fable Haven stuff, Fable Haven, I always say heaven, in like the back of my books when I was younger, and I was like going around half-price books and I was like, why don't I see what Brandon Mole is all about? Yeah, and I don't know, I'm just feeling nostalgic for like this type of fantasy, like young adults, middle school, whatever age group this is, age to 12. Okay, so like middle school, middle grade, from like the early 2010s. So maybe we'll give that a shot to give me a break from like Oathbringer, because that's full-on high fantasy, like 1,000,000 characters and all that. Yeah, but then I have like a YA new adult fantasy. So we have like all the ranges of fantasy, and that is The Prison Healer. I've been wanting to read this, and apparently there's like a cliffhanger. I don't know if it's in the first book or the second book, but I didn't realize this was a series, except it literally has the next books down here, so I don't know what I was on when I like bought this. Oh. I don't know if that's really a spoiler, but there's like this black section right here, and I flipped to it thinking that like the rest of this was like book 2 or something, but Anyway, okay, technically I do have another classics, and that's The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I want to read this, but I think I'm gonna wait actually till like winter, because I feel like, I don't know, Russian and like winter, and I don't know, I feel like that makes sense. And then last but not least, I actually have a nonfiction. This is The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, A New History of Their Lost Land by Steve Brusate. I actually have read this before. I read it a couple years ago. I think maybe sophomore year or freshman year. And I really loved it. And I've been wanting to reread it, so maybe some nonfiction will be nice. That is the little potential TBR kind of thing. I might start off with Oathbringer actually, because I'm just in the mood to read that. I actually didn't read yesterday. I have about 10 minutes till we start, and yeah, I think I'm gonna read Oathbringer. If you don't know what Oathbringer is about, so it's the third book in the Stormlight Archive. I always call it the Stormlight Archives, but it's the Stormlight Archive. Will I continue calling it that? Probably not, but it's wonderful. There are knights, and there are kings, and there are like evil forces, and like there's kind of like a cool magic system where like people are like starting to discover they have powers, and there are these things called spren, which are just like little like people kind of things, kind of like little fairies is what I think of them, and it's just really, really good, and I'm so curious to see what Brandon Sanderson is going to do with this, because I feel like he could have just ended the story at book 2 because he had so much, but he's weaving in all these other things and like things that are just coming by in passing that I am going to assume come up later come up more in later books. And so I have no idea what to expect with book 3, because we've kind of like switched to a new setting, if you will, so I'm so curious. Anyway, I'm going to finish up watching a YouTube video, and then we will get started. I think how I'm gonna do this so I don't get burned out is read for an hour and then like take a break for 10 minutes and then read for an hour, take a break for 10, kind of like a Pomodoro method. If it's a fail, at least we have a video still. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the reading. Hello. So we have finished hour 1 of the readathon. I read only like 50 pages, which is fine. I don't know, sometimes I feel sad that I don't like read as fast as I used to, but especially with like this series, I read extra slow because I just want to absorb everything because there's so much happening. Like I literally have notes of like the first 2 books because I hadn't picked up this series for like 6 months and I needed to remember it, so I literally took notes, and then I've been making a list of like, there's like these like order like things, orders of like the powers, and so I've been making a list of them and like who has them. So I'm just gonna sit on my bed and read for a bit. I rearranged my room. I don't know if you can tell, but my bed used to be facing against this wall, but I've like moved it so it faces this way where my desk is right here. I felt bored, but it makes like reading on my bed a lot nicer because I'm next to the window now as opposed to like facing that way, and I don't know, it's a vibe. Not a whole lot has happened in Oathbringer so far. There is just kind of, I think, a lot of prep going on. I'm wondering if like it's gonna be like Way of Kings, because Way of Kings was kind of slowish, and then like at the end there was a bunch of stuff happening, and then Words of Radiance was like the aftermath of the first book, and so I'm wondering if maybe this is going to be kind of like a Way of Kings, and then Rhythm of War is kind of going to be the aftermath of this, and it's going to be like a cycle kind of. I'm still really loving it. I don't know, I feel even more excited to like read it, even though not a whole lot is happening, just a lot of like preparations for things. I don't know, I can't really say anything without spoiling the first 2 books. We're getting a lot of good stuff with Dalinar, who's one of my favorite characters. He's like one of like the princes, one of the high princes, and I just love him, and all I can think about when I'm like reading a scene with him is Tenzin from what is it, Korra, Legend of Korra. If you have read Oathbringer, chapter 19 was so much fun. And then also chapter oh my god, I was like cracking up. Chapter 13 I think is just, it's hilariously funny. I was dying reading it the other night. So yeah, anyway, I'm starting chapter 25 and I think we're in Shallan's POV, so yeah. Hello everyone, so it is now almost 2:30. I ended up taking a 2-hour break, which I didn't mean to, but you know, I was just scrolling on TikTok, as one does, and time passes by so quickly. And then I made some lunch, because I got hungry, and then I just watched Emmy's new, Emma from Emmy is Reading, or just Emmy Reads. I watched her new YouTube video. But yeah, we're slowly making progress in Oathbringer, but I think I am feeling done for the day. I don't know, my plan was to get to page 300, but I got to like 286 and was just kind of like, I could do with a stopping point for now, so maybe I'll read a bit more of it later, but for now, I am happy with where I am. We got this really cool like battle scene from like a flashback. I just love seeing like the younger version of this particular character. I love him so much. So I really want to move on to The Prison Healer, which I've been wanting to read for a really long time. I've talked about this in my summer book haul. Yeah. So if you didn't see that, check it out if you'd like. There's a couple books in there. I think I got like 9 books. Yeah, so essentially, if you don't know, The Prison Healer is about this girl named Kiva. She's 17 and she has spent the past 10 years fighting for survival in the notorious death prison Zalindov, working as the prison healer. So I think she has like powers where she can heal, maybe? Or maybe she's just very good at healing. I don't know. The rebel queen is captured. The rebel queen is terminally ill, and because of her crimes, she's like being forced to undergo the trials by ordeal, which are like a series of elemental trials that no one survives. But Kiva gets a message from her family saying keep her alive, I think, or like we're coming, yeah. Don't let her die, we're coming. And so Kiva is like, she's literally terminally ill. She ends up taking the place of the queen and competing in these trials. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom. There's a plague, there's like a new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, and a prison rebellion brewing. Oh my god, to Sarah J. Maas! Thank you for being so generous with your friendship, support, and encouragement, but mostly thank you for believing in me, even and especially when I didn't. That's cute. And then we got a map that Perinthian, does that look like it at all? The kingdoms of Winderall. I really like maps in fantasy books. So yeah, and then the second book is called The Gilded Cage, and the third book is called The Blood Trader, and the second book has like a really cool cover. So yeah, that is the Prison Healer series, Prison Healer novels. I don't know, but I think we're gonna start this. Hello everyone. So I've read for about 2 hours and then I was on the phone with my sister and my mom for another hour. I have gotten about this much through The Prison Healer. I'm on page 126. I am really enjoying this, so that's a good thing. It's making me happy. We've basically made it through like the blurb stuff on the back. So we have Jaren, who is, I'm assuming, the inmate that's gonna like play for her heart, Kiva's heart, and he has arrived. Kiva, I thought Kiva might have like healing powers, because like fantasy, you know, but she just can heal very well. But there are like powers in the book, but that's like typically the royal family. There's like one side of the royal family that is able to like have power over the elements. Not all of them, but maybe all of them. I don't know. It says that like someone hasn't had all of the elements in like a while, but like having one or two I think is common, maybe just one. But yeah, and then like the other side of the royal family, which is like the illegitimate, well, they're not illegitimate, but that's like the rebel, like, you know, queen, that side of the family is has like healing powers. So yeah, but I don't think that has ever manifested in anyone, at least not what I've heard. But obviously this is called The Prison Healer, so I'm assuming Kiva has some sort of healing powers, even if she doesn't realize it. Also, we got introduced to like another guy, and so I'm like eager to know if anything's gonna happen with that. I don't think it will in this book, at least. I don't know where we're going with this book, but I think if it does happen, it won't happen for like until the next book, if anything happens that way. I don't know. I have some theories. Kiva probably has powers and is probably royalty because of that. That's what I'm thinking, just because Prison Healer and then that one person with the healing powers, and then just because I have been burned by first potential love interest before. I'm like, what if the other guy that is like showing up, that's like her age-ish, could like be in the like a part of it. And then also I just think her and the guard are really cute, and I'm like, can we just like have like a sapphic romance in here? But yeah, there's a lot of like health stuff in here, if that makes sense. Like there's a boy with like a stutter, there's the guard has a prosthetic hand, there's a lot of like about anxiety, and like the rebel queen is terminally ill and she's blind, and like there's just a bunch of like, I guess, representation in the book, which I think is really cool to like read about all of them. That is that. We also made it through the first trial in a very interesting like way. What I really liked about the trials was that I feel like a lot of times trials in books are like, oh, they're so hard, you're never gonna win them, and then like the main character wins them, you know. But in this one it was like, usually for like the first trial or the second trial, they're a lot easier to give the person hope, and then they don't make it through usually. If they do, they're like 1 in a million or whatever. First impressions, really liking this, and I'm gonna keep reading, I think. Hello everyone. So I am sweating, so I've turned on my fan. But it is about 8:30 now, the sun is setting, hence the bad lighting, and I am now at page 166, chapter 16. The plague, that's on like the back cover, by the way. I don't want to try and give away spoilers, but I feel like some of the things on the back cover are free game. So like the plague that is mentioned has started, which has been really interesting. I love how sciencey this book is. It's making my little science heart happy. But after I ate dinner, I ended up talking with my roommates for a bit. Both of them, well, we're all moving out because our lease ends, and both of them are actually going to vet school, which is really exciting. So one of them was packing up some stuff, and the other was buying some stuff for their apartment. And so I just chatted with them for a bit, and now I'm back. I have my last hour of reading because I started at 9:30, so it's now 8:30, so 8:30 to 9:30, and I'm nowhere near like 12 hours. I think with this hour I will be at 7 hours, just because I ended up talking with my sister for like 3 hours out of that time, and then I don't know where all the other hours went, but that's fine. I'm not gonna like bend over backwards to do a fun little challenge. It's just a fun challenge to read all day. So if I don't read like the full 12 hours the whole day, like I'm not gonna try to. I'm just gonna read what I can, even if that is with breaks. And so I don't know, I feel like it's more realistic for me anyway. So good morning, everyone. It is day 2 of our 24-hour readathon. So we're doing the rest of the 12 hours today. And yeah, so I have some tea. Made some tea. It's green tea. In terms of what we're reading today, I'm gonna keep reading. Oh no, the cover got bent. No! I'm gonna keep reading The Prison Healer because I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 188, so chapter 18, and I think Kiva is about to start like the second trial soon. I am still really enjoying this, and we kind of got some developments in the romance area, if you will. Not much, but a little bit of something. Right now, Kiva is just trying to figure out where the plague has originated, so hopefully she can treat it. Yeah, so I'm really excited. We're gonna keep reading this, and then I'll probably dip into Oathbringer a little bit today, just because I'm kind of missing it. And then I think if I finish The Prison Healer and I'm tired of Oathbringer, I will start reading. I'm just in a good fantasy mood, so maybe Beyonders. Normally I try and like switch up the genres, so I'm not like reading the same exact thing, like same genre over and over, but I'm not really in the mood to read Little Women. I'm gonna keep reading this. I'm gonna read for a few hours, and then I'm gonna take a shower and wash my hair because I finally got shampoo. Yeah, I'll update y'all then. Okay, hello everyone. The glare. So we've washed the hair and it's about to get really poofy, as it does when it dries. I've even cut my bangs just because they were long and getting into my eyes, and I didn't do the best job, but it's fine, it's whatever. They grow back like so quickly. It is almost 1:30. I had some lunch. I did scroll on TikTok for a bit. I'm almost about 70% of the way through The Prison Healer, and I'm loving this still. I definitely would recommend checking out the trigger warnings for this book, because there have been things now that like we're kind of in the book. We've been getting a bit more about some of the backgrounds of the characters and just kind of getting into some situations and things. I feel like a lot of books make an attempt to like have a focus point of like mental health and like trauma, but they kind of just really gloss over it. But I feel like this one has been really like hitting it pretty well, not having it encompass the whole book, but like having it be a part of like important moments and stuff, and just it feels very natural, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like the author did a really good job at like having mental health and like trauma in this book. Definitely make sure to check out the trigger warnings if you do want to read this book. Maybe there is something that might not be for you and you might want to avoid it, which is totally fine. But yeah, but I am enjoying this. We finished the second trial. We're about to start the third, and I'm so curious. Like we're getting closer and closer to this black section, which like I keep thinking is like this is going to be book 2, but it's all the same book. So I'm like so curious to see what's going on. I still think her and the guard should get together because like I feel like Kiva and the love interest are cute together, and they're not like together, but like, you know, the budding romance that's kind of taking place is cute, and I do like them, but I feel like she spends so much time with the guard that I feel like it makes more sense to be with the guard. I don't know, but they're just friends. But I'm thinking that the guard could get with someone else, but I don't know if that would, I don't know if they'll be a big part of the series. I'm assuming they'll come back in for book 2 and be a bigger part of the series then. I love coming up with theories, it's so fun. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading this. I'm gonna make a cup of tea, and we're gonna sit down, probably in my bed for a bit, and read. Oh my god, okay, y'all. So I made it past these like black pages. When I tell you they were really effective and so cool to like read, I was like losing my mind. Like so simple but so effective. Oh my gosh. And the stuff that was revealed in between, y'all. I was freaking out, and then like the stuff that was revealed before, I was freaking out, and I'm just like, what else is there to come, you know? Wow. And now I just want to like go back and read the book so that way I can find those things that like lead up to the reveal, you know? So good. So so we made it past the 3rd trial, and now we're going to the 4th and final trial, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Wow. And I'm like wondering if I need to go out and buy the 2nd and 3rd book right away, but like I'm trying to save money and only buy things like out of necessity right now. So I finished The Prison Healer. Oh my god, what a roller coaster of emotions of the last like 100 pages or so. 150, I don't even know. I'm not gonna spoil it, obviously, but I had theories. Some of them were wrong, some of them were kind of right, and then some of them did not explain what just happened. That was an ending. The last 2 pages, man. Now it just makes you want to rethink the entire book. Now I really want to go get the other 2. I think the prologue of the 2nd book is in here, but I don't really like to read like the prologue, like the little parts of the 2nd book. I just kind of like to go straight into the 2nd book. I need the other 2. Oh my gosh. Hello everyone, it is about 10 in the morning and we are done with the 24-hour readathon challenge as of last night at 9:30 p.m. Let's talk about it. So The first book that I read was Brandon Sanderson's Oathbringer. I read about, was it 200 pages, I think? So we're getting into it. A lot of this is like set up, but it's still really good. Then I read The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. We all know how I feel about this. I really loved it, and I can't wait to get the other two in the series. So I really love this. So 5 stars. Sort of in the last hour of my readathon, I definitely didn't read for 24 hours straight, like we've mentioned 20 million times, and like I definitely could have gotten a lot farther in this yesterday, but after finishing the book, I just wasn't in the mood to read something right then and there, so I ended up not reading for like 4 hours. I was kind of in a book hangover from The Prison Healer, but at the end of the night, I did end up picking Beyonders, A World Without Heroes to read next, and I'm actually really enjoying this. I got about 67 pages in last night. I only read for like an hour, and then I like passed out. I don't know why, I just was like so tired, even though I did nothing yesterday. We've gotten far enough along that I kind of know what it's about. So you have, what's his name? Jason. He's like 13, 14 years old. He's also 6 foot somehow. He had a growth spurt. Basically, he is from Colorado. He has like a job at a zoo. He loves zoology. His parents want him to be a dentist. He likes baseball, all that good stuff. And one day when he is volunteering / working at a zoo, he accidentally falls into a hippo's mouth and is transported into the world of, what is it, Lyria? I don't think that's right, hold on. Oh, Lyrian. So he's transported to Lyrian. Yeah, he loses his footing and he falls headfirst into the hippo's museum, like hippo, well, not museum, what's the word, like enclosure, and the hippo happens to open its mouth right at the same time and transports him into Lyrian, which is this other world that he's just like, that is just very strange, because the first thing he kind of experiences in this world is a funeral of these people like wanting to go over the waterfall because they're not allowed to sing anymore, and so he experiences that, and it's very weird. But eventually he makes it to kind of like this giant library kind of source of knowledge place, and that's where he gets answers, and that's kind of how we're introduced a bit more to the world. It used to be a place of wizards, but now there's really only one wizard. His name is Maldor, and he's like the emperor, and he's kind of like evil, as it's implied. We see that like in the prologue. The guy who kind of like heads the museum kind of gets Jason acquainted with the world, and then Jason ends up going to like the forbidden section of the library, and that's where we get this back scene. He finds this book made of flesh, which is really gross. The Book of Salzared, bound in his hide, scribbled in his blood. Be cautioned, reader, some knowledge can never be unlearned. Such is the secret contained herein. Proceed only in defiance of this gravest warning, for the dire words that follow will set you in opposition to Maldor evermore. Evermore, Taylor Swift. This guy explains that Maldor can be defeated with like a word, and so he goes on to say, you've nominated yourself to recover the keyword. Move swiftly. The knowledge you now possess marks you for prompt execution. The first syllable is A. And when Jason closes the book, he's just trying to find a way home, and so he ends up reading this because he's like, oh, that's probably gonna help me find a way home, but he ends up with this word stuff instead. And so when he closes the book, there's an eye on the book staring straight at him. And so the library guy is like, you need to leave now, like, you were seen. And so I'm assuming that was like Maldor or like one of his like henchmen or whatever. And so now Jason is having to go to see the blind king, so he's on his journey to go see him. But I'm actually really enjoying this. I didn't think I'd like it, just because it is middle grade and I've kind of aged out of that, and I just wasn't sure what to expect going in. You don't really get anything except for like this back cover and the sentence on the front, which I feel like is a pretty good description of the book. Actually, it is a trilogy, so if I do end up liking this, then maybe I'll pick up the other two. Those were the 3 books that I I've sort of read slash made some progress in. So that is the 24-hour readathon. I know I definitely didn't do it properly, but I feel like it's very realistic because I don't know, I would love to be someone who could read like a full 24 hours, but I cannot. I am like constantly sleep deprived and I daydream a lot, so it's hard for me sometimes to like stay focused on a book unless I'm like really invested in it. You know what, this 24-hour readathon was realistic and it made me really grateful that I was able to just sit down and dedicate 2 days to reading. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe we'll do a few more 24-hour readathons in the future, who knows. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!